I'm unmuted. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. We are so glad that you are spending your Wednesday evening with us, and we're going to be doing some virtual theater. So we are so thrilled to have you here joining us, albeit digitally. If you are familiar with Elm Street, y'all know me, y'all know my face. It is me, it is Justin. But I am so thrilled because I have such a wonderful team that has been working on this digital production. But before we go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our wonderful playwright that we have for this piece. So the piece that we're going to be reading for you today. It's called The Bee That Declared a War, and it's written by Cary Simowitz. So I'm going to just go ahead and read you his bio so that way you can get to know him a little bit better, and then we'll do some cast introductions. I'll let our director talk a little bit about what you can expect in this piece. We'll go into the piece, and then we will also do a short post discussion afterwards with the cast and the team, just kind of talking through the process and this piece in particular. So we do welcome your questions post-performance. But in the meantime, let me tell you about our wonderful playwright for this piece. Cary Simowitz, he, him, his, is a 29-year-old playwright and lawyer hailing from Coral Springs, Florida, currently serving as the Dramatists Guild of America's regional ambassador for St. Louis. He recently graduated from UCLA School of Theater, Film, and Television with his Master of Fine Arts in Playwriting. Cary's plays have collectively garnered him modest recognition in over 24 competitions across the country. His play, Dejarum Vanilla, was developed at the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. in 2018 as part of the Kennedy Center's MFA New Play Festival in association with the National New Play Network and the National Center for New Plays at Stanford University. It was subsequently developed at the Alliance Theater right here in Atlanta, Georgia, as an Alliance Candida finalist play in 2020. His most recent play, All the Oxycodone in Your Fingertips, which explores deaf culture in American society, achieved finalist status in the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center's 2020 National Playwrights Conference and is still under adjunction as a finalist for the O'Neill's 2021 National Playwrights Conference. And all of his plays, including this one that you're going to experience tonight, they are all available to read on the New Play Exchange at www.newplayexchange.org. So without further ado, I want to kick it off to my wonderful cast. So if you'll go ahead and say your name, say what character or role you're playing, and then tell us a little bit about you and some theatrical things that we may have seen you in.
Who would you like to start?
Minnie, you know what? You kicked us off, so go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Minnie T. I'm reading stage directions. I have an extensive theater background. I have done things all the way from Annie Get Your Gun to Wizard of Oz, where I was the Wicked Witch, and Crossing Delancey, I played Bubby in that one. I have been working with Live Arts Theater for the last couple of years and did several plays with them. The only one you may have heard of is Fiorello, which was a musical that we did, and I had a minor role in that. I've done a little bit of television, a little bit of film, a little bit of voiceover. So, and I am very, very happy to be doing the stage directions.
We are so glad to have you here, Minnie. And then either Chris or Lewis, whoever wants to be the next, will have you go.
All right. Well, Chris?
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, hello. I'm Lewis Gregory. I guess the biggest, one of the biggest things I did in Atlanta was Angels in America. It was, my God, an incredible experience. But I've done like a lot of work at Actors Express. I've done some stuff at Aurora. And I was so excited to get the script. I think it is so relevant and it is so powerful. It's beautiful, and I can't wait for you all to hear it. And to be with this cast has just been, it's just been incredible. So glad you guys are here.
All right. My name is Kristaliana Coates, and I'm playing the character of Yamon. And I've basically been doing theater since I was in high school, 11th grade. And I just recently graduated from the University of West Georgia. So, some productions that I've been in there was Spring Awakening. Very recent one, which is one of my favorites, is Blood at the Root. Yeah, I'm just so excited to be doing this. I have a lovely cast, and I just cannot wait for you guys to hear it.
They have been working so hard the past week. It's been a little under a week that they've been in rehearsals for this reading, but they have been doing such a fantastic job. You are really going to enjoy it. And so before we go ahead and get started, I want to go ahead and give a huge shout out and thank you to our director, Jeff. Jeff, if you want to go ahead and give us a little bit of a curtain speech, tell us a little bit about yourself, and also some things that we can expect with this and things for us to look forward to.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jeff Liu, or Jeffrey for the full name experience. I am a little bit active around the mostly community theater scene. So maybe you might have caught me here or there, on stage, off stage, above the stage, under the stage, who knows? So I'm somewhere around the stage. But and so I'm very delighted to put on this performance with such a wonderful team, including Justin of The Bee That Declared a War. And today what you can expect is, well, you're going to see a play where we get to see two people interact with each other, and they're so in their own lived-in experience that it's hard for them to understand or see how the other person is going through their life. So kind of how, we talk about walking in another person's shoe. And also, apropos to the bee and the title, sometimes when we have, judgments about other people, or we have bias against other people, it's not always sometimes a very pointed, one-time direct front at somebody. It usually kind of comes in, as a bee, a small sting at a time. So what you're going to see today is quite a number of different stings across all kinds of levels, back and forth between these two characters.
All right, so I think we are ready to go ahead and get started. Myself and Jeff, we're gonna go ahead and turn our videos off so you can focus on the beautiful work that these creatives have been doing for the past week. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy The Bee That Declared a War.
The Bee That Declared a War, a 10-minute play by Cary J. Simowitz.
The bees had declared a war. The sky wasn't big enough for them all. Of monsters and men, 30 paws.
The characters: Tiffany Yamon Upchurch, 23 years old, black, doorwoman, strong but frightened. Joshua Aaron Rosenberg, 27 years old, white, resident, genuinely amiable but frequently accidentally condescending. The time, December 2015, around midnight. The setting and the context: the Rochester is based on a real apartment complex in St. Louis, Missouri. Between late 2015 and early 2016, ownership of the Rochester changed hands. During the transition, many members of the primarily Black staff were laid off or had their pay reduced in an effort to convince them to leave voluntarily. Most of the newly created vacancies were filled by white men and women associated with the new corporate ownership. The residents barely noticed. December 2015, St. Louis, Missouri, midnight. The front hall lobby of the Rochester, a large upscale apartment complex. The lobby's decor has a warm mahogany feel. Stage right is the front doors leading into the street. Stage left is an elevator, which takes residents up to their units. Center stage is the doorman's desk facing the audience. It supports a computer, which displays black and white security footage, and a sign-in registry. The lobby is decorated festively in anticipation of the holidays. A large, vibrant Christmas tree sits near the front doors. A small menorah and kinara sits on a side table. Yamon, 23, is behind the desk, quietly reading. A few moments pass before she notices something in the security footage, which causes her to jump a bit. She reaches into one of the desk's drawers, pulls out a turquoise envelope, and places it in the center of the desk. Josh enters, wearing a large winter jacket and carrying an overstuffed backpack. He immediately unzips his coat, revealing blue scrubs underneath. He's also wearing a silver Star of David necklace around his neck, which is made noticeable when it frequently catches the light. Yamon beams at him. Josh barely notices at first.
You look cold,
Oh, Jesus, it's insane out there.
right?
Josh catches Yamon's gaze.
You staying warm, Yamon?
Yeah, it's all right. It's pretty quiet in here. Door doesn't open and close as much this late.
Yeah, sorry about that.
About what? How else would you get in?
Josh crosses over to the desk to sign the registry. Yamon stares expectantly at the card. Josh doesn't notice.
What you reading tonight?
Oh, it's The Shame of the Nation by
Oh,
Jonathan
yeah,
Simowitz.
I know that one. That's right. That's Kazel's book.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, what happened to living for love or dying for loyalty?
Hey now, don't make fun of
The
I really
literary and rhetorical power of Ms. Lady P? I would never.
I mean, I'm still reading that one, but one of the other residents has been on me, telling me to read this, and she sort of, well, thrusted at me the other day.
Huh. Who was it?
Marissa, I think.
Yeah, she's kind of pushy like that.
But it's mind-blowing, seriously.
Yeah, it's been a while since I read it, but I remember.
The two smile at each other. Josh glances over at the Christmas tree.
Oh, hey, look who's back.
Yeah, we set her up earlier tonight.
That was so like asinine that they wouldn't let you put up the tree last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever, but I'm glad we got it back. Cheers everyone up.
Yeah, must be the new management, right?
Yeah, I guess they don't care as much.
And there's a menorah over there too. And the what's it called for Kwanzaa? So everyone's happy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I still don't understand why we couldn't have the tree last year. I love it, and
Yeah,
I don't even
I think
celebrate
it was that letter they got from that resident who was offended.
Oh, right. No, I'm sorry. That's just stupid. Like the whole Starbucks red cup debacle that's dominating the news. Like it's just a bunch of people getting all assholier than thou over a great big nothing and ruining it for everyone. Oh well. What can you do? Sorry for the rant. Anyway, I should probably head up. I'm wiped out.
Josh walks over to the elevators. Yamon looks frantically at the card. Josh pushes the button. Yamon finally holds up the card.
Happy birthday!
Josh looks back. He possibly blushes.
What? How did you? I can't believe you knew.
He walks over and takes the card.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook.
Yeah, but I mean, still, like, this is so nice of you. Oh, should I open it now or just?
Yeah, open it.
The elevator door dings and slides open. Josh pulls the card out. It visibly has Christian imagery on the front. The elevator door dings and slides closed.
Dear Josh, may your coming year be filled with endless happiness and the light of our Lord and Savior Oh. Um,
Josh fiddles with his Star of David necklace. Yamon stares at him expectantly, unfazed. Josh almost says something, but decides against it. He quickly reads the rest of the card to himself and looks up.
this was so nice of you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Josh glances at the card's signature.
Wait, your first name is Tiffany? I thought it was, yeah, on Facebook too.
Yeah, I don't like Tiffany all that much. Yamon's a family name, so that's just what I go by.
No kidding. Oh, that's really cool.
Really? Thanks. I never thought of it as cool.
Yeah. Oh man, it is late indeed. I really better get upstairs.
Yeah, no worries. Good night.
Josh walks over and pushes the elevator button again. Yamon fidgets a bit uncomfortably. Josh, staring at the elevators, doesn't notice.
Jeez, you'd think since the elevator was like just here, it opened back up super quickly or something.
Josh, I think I'm gonna get fired.
What?
The elevator door dings and slides open.
Why?
New management is tossing everyone.
Yeah, but you're probably gonna be okay.
They fired Tyrone this morning.
The elevator door dings and slides closed.
What? No. Everybody loves Tyrone. He's been a porter here for
15 years.
Everybody loves Tyrone. It isn't the Rochester without him.
Yeah, well, now it is.
Did they say why?
His girlfriend showed up. Apparently they had an argument in the lobby.
So?
I think they were looking for a reason.
Josh takes this in.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But you'll be fine. I mean, everybody loves you.
That's what you said about Tyrone. Twice. Stacy told me she wants to meet with me in the morning. They saw I was gone all last week.
Wait, but wasn't that because you were looking after your mom?
Yeah, but I missed a whole week, so...
No, there's no way. You'll be fine. I gotta believe that.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping you could do me a favor.
Of course, anything.
I was wondering if you could maybe talk to Stacy for me tomorrow, maybe talk me up or something.
Oh.
What?
It's just, I'm never here during the day.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the hospital, like all the time. I'll be gone way before the office opens and back, around midnight, like usual.
You can't give the front office a call or something?
I mean, we don't really have time to make personal calls. I'm like running from patient to patient.
But, I mean, when do you drop off the rent?
Well, I usually just slide it under the front office door.
So maybe you could just slide a note or something in tomorrow morning.
Yamon notices Josh's discomfort and stops speaking.
Okay, listen, I mean, it's new management and they barely know me. Like, what's my word good for?
Probably a lot.
And I don't want to be that guy, like the uppity resident causing trouble. Like, before they've even met me, next thing I know, I'll be sitting with a clogged toilet or something for weeks.
I don't understand.
I just want to quietly go about my business, I just make it a practice not to get involved. I mean, I don't know. What if there was like this totally valid policy for taking time off and you just sort of didn't follow it?
Yamon is silent.
What I mean to say is I'm probably not the right
I
person
bring
to
you a bagel every Sunday.
what?
Every Sunday, when you go shopping before work, I bring you a free bagel. Haven't you noticed?
Yeah, and I appreciated it.
And I told that girl once that you weren't home, even though you were, like you
Yes,
asked me
yeah,
to.
I know.
And I gave you my umbrella that one time when it was raining.
And I gave it back.
And I chased the mail guy a block up the street that time when you missed him for the day. And I made you soup that time you were sick. And I put in that emergency service request for you after hours, even though not having hot water isn't exactly
I didn't
an
ask
emergency.
you to do any of
And
those
I
things.
remembered your birthday.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to do those things.
Silence. Yamon has a pained expression on her face.
Look,
And well, you've made your fair share of promises, but I let them all go.
what do you mean?
Last week, when you brought that cake down for a friend, on the way back up, you told me you'd bake for me sometime. And before that, you told me you'd burn me a copy of that new of Monsters and Men CD. And you told me that you'd grab me a cup of coffee from the lounge that one morning. And whew, what a surprise. You never came back.
I forgot.
All 3 times?
Long silence.
They're gonna fire me.
No, they're not. I swear.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You'll be fine.
I've got to help take care of my family and I've got to pay the rent. It took me 6 months to find this. I've got to have a place to go. I need a job.
Slow down. Nothing's happened yet.
I killed that bee for you.
What?
When you came down here all in a panic a few weeks ago, when that bee got into your apartment, you were freaking out over this tiny little insect that probably wouldn't have even hurt you if you didn't notice it in the first place. I gave you some bug spray, but you said you didn't want it to be near. So I asked if you were allergic and you said no. You said you were just scared. Ringing any bells?
Yeah, you were great. You came up with me to my apartment.
I went into your apartment. You stayed in the hall and you shut the door on me. You shut me in with that bee.
I was scared. It might get out and then it would be in the hall and
I killed it for you. It stung me, by the way. Did you know that?
She reaches her palm out and points to the center.
Right here.
No, you didn't say anything.
You're right. I didn't. And it hurt. But I didn't say anything.
Yamon puts her head down. She might cry lightly.
Okay, please don't. It's going to work out. I'm sorry.
Yamon looks up. The two look at each other for a moment, perhaps seeing each other for the first time. Yamon begins to collect herself.
No, I shouldn't be unloading on you. It's not your
Maybe I could write something.
No, don't worry about it.
I mean,
I said, don't worry about it.
Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm fine. Don't you have to be
Huh?
Up early?
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Josh slowly walks over to the elevator and pushes the button again. The two wait in silence for the elevator to arrive. Eventually, it dings and slides open.
Everything will look better in the morning. It always does. I promise.
Yeah.
They might not even say
Night, Josh.
good night, Tiffany.
Yamon.
What?
You called me Tiffany.
No, I didn't. Did I?
The elevator dings and slides closed on Josh. End of play.
All right. Wonderful job, everyone. I am sure everyone in the Facebook comments is doing all of the applause and everything here. It is deafening on my end. I can tell you that. But yeah, no, absolutely terrific. So thank you all so much for being part of this. We've got a few minutes, so what I would like to do is just kind of do a quick dialogue on this show, because it talks a lot about some very relevant issues right now, and so I know for me, and I'm sure for the people watching as well, they want to know kind of a little bit more about what that process was like for you all to, to get in the mindset and to really embody the world, that, and the situation that these characters are doing. So I guess the first question that I have is the big thing for me that I get out of this show is constantly seeing these ideas and seeing these microaggressions pop up throughout the show. What role do they play in this script and these situations that these characters are talking about?
Yeah. Well, I think. Are we just like all? Is it?
Yeah. Whoever wants to start us out, we'll go.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, I think a lot of it, I think, just like from an acting standpoint, it's having all those little like microaggressions, as you said. It's such a great like pinch and ouch, and really like it helps motivate the line and motivate the action and like keep the play going. But I think also it just, I mean, it really sets the tone for just how, I was going to say out of sync these characters are with other people's lives, but I think kind of really how out of sync my character is out of like the struggle of basically everybody who doesn't live a doctor's life, um, and which is, so much what this play is about is just not seeing our privilege and not really seeing others. There's that stage direction where it's just they finally see each other for the first time. So I think that was, for me, that's what helped figure things out throughout the play.
Yeah, like I completely agree. Like Jess said in the beginning before we started, it's basically like we don't really understand how each other's lives are. Like I'm going through, like Yamon is going through something totally different from Josh, and like it's the whole you have to be in my shoes to really understand type thing, and that's very relevant in like what's going on today. So definitely.
Minnie, for you, since you were doing a lovely job with our stage directions, what part how big of a part do these stage directions play throughout the show? Because I mean, we see a lot of pauses and beat changes, and so you're kind of, you're the person who is guiding us through these as an audience. So for you, what was that experience like of being able to, find those moments where where you needed to shift throughout the script?
Well, right from the beginning, I've been listening to everybody, the actors, and the storyline. I mean, at first, when I first read it, I didn't really see the big picture until after we actually started rehearsing, and I think both Chris and Lewis did an absolutely fabulous job. I have to say that. I'm sorry, forgive me. And I thought Jeffrey, by all means, brought everyone up to the speed that we saw tonight. I think that the live brought out the extra and everyone, including me. I always enjoyed reading stage directions, even though it's not really a rule, but it does. It pushes the play along, and it should give the audience some insight that they're not going to get if it's not on a live stage being performed in front of them. That's what stage directions do, is it gives them that little bit of insight that they could see for themselves if everybody was on a stage. But listening to them and reacting to what was going on between them is how I approached it. Just listening to them and again, like an actor, just reacting to what was going on between them.
Yeah, and I thought you did a fabulous job. I mean, all across the board, everyone did such a fantastic job. I'm rifling through all of the comments right now, but like it's all of the gifs of people clapping and people just saying like bravo and that they really enjoyed it, and just like how timely this script is right now. And I think that really speaks to the power that theater and the arts can have, in terms of being able to educate us on a topic that we may not be familiar with ourselves. It gives us an opportunity, to really be able to step into someone else's shoes, as this show does a really good job of. And also giving us an opportunity to have that sort of dialogue on things that sometimes are not, people can sometimes want to shy away from talking about certain topics. My final question for Jeff before we put everything up in a nice little bow is, obviously this show talks a lot about the subject of race and privilege, and these can be some pretty heavy topics. So what was your approach when you were directing this piece and putting it together, in terms of being able to communicate those themes in an effective way?
Well, thank you for that excellent question. My approach was to, well, I mean, if this was a real show, of course, you get your talent to memorize their lines first, because, well, you can't really get into the core of a character or hit those emotional beats until you got the lines down. But because it is a reading, there's no expectation to memorize lines. So one of the first things I told my talent was to get familiar enough with the script that you kind of know the story sequence, the emotional beats, page by page, section by section, to kind of really help that lend them the script more for their character development and to really be in the essence of the character. And other than that, I applaud my talent and my stage directions for being so willing to take a lot of feedback and typically a lot of drilling of questions about their character, into the psyche of the character motivations, what have you not. I would ask them a lot of different questions as we went through the script, breaking it down to really give them the time to work it in. And of course, just having them think about, well, what do you feel like the character is going through? What's in their life? Maybe think about like, is there something similar in your life that you can relate to? And one of the important things for me for casting the show, which I think helps lend it naturally, was to find people who actually fit the character descriptions. With Chris, we have a young and wonderful Black woman, and then with Lewis, we have a young and wonderful Jewish guy too. So because that's what the characters are, and I really wanted to invoke that. I tried very hard to find the people to match it, and including finding someone who is a Jewish guy to be Josh was very important, because I knew that they would be able to bring something from actually having, again, we talked about lived experiences of being kind of like within your box of your own life experiences, which is going to be different from someone else's. But having someone who's had that experience, I think brings it something authentic and natural compared to someone who will have to kind of come up with something to replicate it. I think the greatest thing this show displays is how sympathy is sympathy. Oh gosh, now I'm losing my voice. The bee got me. Sympathy is very easy to have for other people. The hardest thing is being able to have empathy and being able to relate and really understand what someone is going through. I mean, you're never gonna completely know what that experience is like, but at least even coming close to having a semblance of what that feeling is like. So I think this really shows us that, and empathy is probably the hardest thing.
Yeah, well, Jeff, I think you did a fantastic job of demonstrating that, and that was very clear by all three of the actors that we had for this piece as well. They rose to the challenge, and were very much all about wanting to get in and do the work and put on something that feels very theatrical, even when we're kind of in a pseudo theatrical space right now with a digital medium.
That's what theater people do the best, right? Is work with what they've been given.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So we want to thank you all, to everyone who's been watching and who's been sharing and leaving comments. Thank you so much for joining us for this piece, for this dialogue. We really feel that the arts have such a great opportunity to allow us to connect and have those conversations in ways that we can't in other mediums. So if you enjoyed this script and you enjoyed the stage reading and you would like to see more things like this, please go ahead and let us know in the comments, so that way we can continue to do things like that. If you are able to, if you're able to donate, that would be wonderful as well. So that way we can continue to bring new works in a digital medium and be able to really find those great scripts and be able to do that. But I want to say one more time, thank you all so much for watching, as well as for my talent here. Thank you so much for being involved. So until we can see you in an in-person medium, we hope to see you again online soon. But until then, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and we will see you later.